So you have a tutorial that examines road traffic analysis in Agile architectures. How has roadwork traditionally been managed?
Well, in old times, we used to just have people that were counting the traffic, how many vehicles that were passing by on the road, and extrapolate from there. This many cars will lead to this much friction and then tear and wear on the pavement. But what actually has been done recently is more that you have people that drive around and actually visually and manually inspect the road surfaces. And of course, this creates a lot of work and takes a lot of time.
I imagine in both cases it's fairly time intensive,
Oh yes,
right?
yes.
So how can Agile architectures actually improve roadwork?
What we are doing is that we're building a system that lets you gain a lot more detailed information about how the traffic is flowing and how many cars have passed around on the roads. And in order to do so with really precise, high precision, you have to have accurate systems, and they have to capture all of the problems and the domain exceptions that take place in real life. And having an agile architecture means that we can change the system in order to be a lot more refined and precise in the data that it gathers. So basically we get data with high quality because we can learn from the system how it evolves and all the sensors, how they work in practice, how the traffic runs, and then be able to put ourselves in a position where we can have the most accurate data ever possible. So we adjust and adapt really quickly.
Interesting. It sounds like before it was largely a static situation,
Exactly.
And now it can account for different variables.
Excellent.
What was the biggest challenge you encountered while building out this architecture?
Well, the biggest challenge is actually handling the large data volumes. We store each and every event that takes place in the system. Each and every car that's registered by the system has an event, and this is stored inside the system. So it gets to be a lot of events in a huge database that we are having internally in the system. So making sure that we chose the right products for this problem, the right components and how to integrate them, that has been the greatest challenge.
Interesting. How do you see architectures that combine software and sensors in the physical world evolving over the next few years?
Well, I think we are in an early phase of that kind of systems, this combination of physical systems and traditional computer systems that run inside servers and things like that. I think we will have a period where we will reach a point where we have broken expectations. There is a very optimistic situation right now, and this is something new and exciting. And then we have these broken expectations, and then perhaps things will adjust and stabilize a little bit. In a while, I think we will see a gradual shift from shared or distributed data or state to shared and distributed control, meaning logic, meaning these devices that are all over the place, they can act and interact and communicate with themselves. We're not there yet. But I am very interested in seeing the shift from only data to code or logic being distributed. We are not there yet, but I think that
How
will be
do you see that playing out? I mean, how long are we talking for something like that?
It's a pure guess, but
I won't hold you to it, don't worry.
5 years, 10 years perhaps.
Okay.
It depends on the adoption of things. It depends on the hardware. It depends on the costs. For instance, what we see in the mobile phone space is these devices have become a lot more cheap lately. But at the same time, they're more feature-rich. So sometimes they cost the same, and they're not as widely used as they perhaps could be. So that's one factor. I'm curious when we can get the really cheap devices that are always connected and then that have a battery life that lasts really, really long, and are also able to run code that is a bit complex. Then that will be interesting.
Last question for you: what people or projects are you following these days?
I'm really interested in the problems that we are solving in our project on a day-to-day basis, and that involves NoSQL databases, distributed systems. Sometimes also machine learning is relevant for us. So anything that has to do with that is interesting for me. I follow the the products we are using, like Elasticsearch, Cassandra. Also, I tend to follow blogs or news posts that have related subjects. For instance, the Hacker News. I'm always on Hacker News. And actually also the O'Reilly 4 short links. That's a really interesting post. I follow that every day.
Oh, thank you, and I didn't put you up to saying that.
No, you didn't.
Excellent.
No.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for being with us.